Hello, and welcome to Saving Grace Education. In this history lesson, we'll be looking at the colonization of the Cape in the 17th and 18th century. In Unit 3.1, we'll be having a closer look at the indigenous inhabitants of the Cape in the 17th century. The following definitions will be very important for this lesson, so please make a note of these. Indigenous refers to the first people on the land. Pastoralists are people who raise livestock for food. One's status is one's position in a society. Archaeologists are people who unearth ancient history by digging up historical sites. An archaeology study is a four-year university course which includes history as a subject. The Sun before the arrival of Dutch at the Cape. Before the arrival of Dutch at the Cape, the indigenous population moved freely. The Sun is called indigenous people because they were the first people in the territory. Land was important for indigenous people because their whole life and existence depended on it. According to tradition, all the land belonged to the community. The Sun were hunter-gatherers who lived in the interior near the Cape. Hunter-gatherers means that Sun lived off the land hunting wild animals with bow and arrow. The arrows were poisoned with snakes, plants, bugs, and scorpions' venoms and toxins. They were also called gatherers because they gathered berries, mushrooms, roots, and bulbs to eat. They moved around in small groups to search for good water resources, so they are called nomadic, meaning that they moved around. Have a look at the right-hand side of the slide to see how men hunted wild animals and how women gathered food and other supplies. Let's discuss the question, why do people regard Sun as clever? People think they were clever to invent and make the following things: tools, animal skin clothes, and musical instruments from wood and rock. Arrowheads were made from and used scorpions, bugs, plants, and snakes. The dots were dipped in poison from snakes, plants, bugs, and scorpions. The Sun left a rich heritage of rock paintings, which gives us an idea of how they lived. The Sun lived off of the land, eating wild animals, berries, mushrooms, roots, and bulbs. The Khoikhoi looked a lot like the Sun. They were just a little taller. The Nama word for Khoikhoi is Kuku. They were cattle farmers just along the Cape Coast. They measured their status and wealth in sheep and cattle. Khamtus, Khanokwa, and Hesekwa were the Khoikhoi tribes. Khoikhoi traded with Africans from the north to get copper and iron. They made tools, weapons, and ornaments. The Sun and Khoikhoi had many struggles over cattle and soil. Khoikhoi also had contact with the Amakosa in the east. Khoikhoi life revolved around animals, water, and land. Let's have a closer look at the Khoikhoi strandlopers. What were the Khoikhoi called who lived out of the sea? They were known as strandlopers. Were strandlopers part of the Khoikhoi family? Yes. What did they live on? They lived off mainly fish and shellfish. Where did they live? In caves on the beaches. And what did archaeologists excavate from which they could learn about the life of strandlopers? Animal bones, mounds of shell, and stone tools. Let's have a look at the similarities and differences between the San and the Khoi. They are both indigenous. They were at the Cape sometimes to look for water or animals to hunt. Land territory was regarded as part of communal living. Differences. San ate carrots, bulbs, berries, and small animals, while the Khoi eat meat, cereals, and milk. San hunted and collected food for themselves, while the Khoikhoi farmed and traded with cattle. Where African farmers were settled. The Xhosa tribes came from Central Africa. They settled in the Eastern Cape where Transkei and Ciskei are today. Why is the Eastern Cape rather further south? The region was suitable for their crops. They received about 500 millimeters of rain during the rainy summer season. The isiXhosa contains many click words, borrowed from San and Khoi. It also shows that the Xhosas mixed with the San and the Khoikhoi people. When European farmers came into this region, they clashed over the use of land with each of the groups living there. Let's have a closer look at the growing of crops by the Xhosa people. They grew the following: beans, watermelon, tobacco, banana, sorghum, sugarcane, corn, and dagga. They loved drinking sour milk and sorghum beer. Xhosa herds of cattle. Xhosa tribes measured their status in wealth in sheep and cattle. The Xhosa people kept large herds of the following: sheep, goats, and poultry. Thank you. I hope you enjoy this lesson.